All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are approximately 1.5 hours behind schedule. Hopefully, as soon as the music cuts off, we'll go ahead and give you a little bit of an update on the day's action. This is the final punch out game of the day. And Caney will be the home team on the scoreboard, so we will flip the encoder panel. Previous game action today, Hugo eliminated Rock Creek from tournament play 3-1. Durant run ruled Soper 12-0 final through 3 innings. So both Soper Bears and the Rock Creek Mustangs eliminated from the tournament. And our game that went 2 hours and almost 55 minutes, Hugo defeats Atoka 18-8. That is a 6 inning run rule where there were 3 other run rules that were possible due to run tallies, 7-1 and then originally 12-4. And teams not content to wrap her up, both giving up multiple runs in the top and bottom of the 6th inning to make it interesting. It was 12-5 going into the 6th, then 18-5 heading into the bottom of the 6th. And then Atoka is able to score 3 runs, making it 18-8. Your final punch-in game will feature the Caney Cougars versus the Durant Lions. Winner will meet Hugo tomorrow for 5th place at 10 a.m. As a result, our 6 and 8 p.m. games are going to be way behind schedule unless we have a run rule here. And right now, the 6 p.m. game will not start until probably Calera Tupelo. Winner's bracket, winner advances to the championship game. And then the 8 p.m. game, only God knows when that one will really start, featuring Amber Pocassid and the Roth Tigers. Cougars looking to rebound from a 1-1 split yesterday. They victorious in their first game and then run ruled by Tupelo. All right, we are officially underway. Top of the first inning. Durant Lions coming up to bat. Ball is in play. Pop up. Shortstop shifts over into the green, snags the ball, 1 down. Games of the year, and then drop 4 in a row against Tupelo, Rattan, Worcester, and Kiowa. All 4 losses coming against teams that were either state quarterfinalists or semifinalists or champions from last fall. And then they got on a win streak, defeating Roth, Batiste, Idabel, Latta, some quality wins, Milburn, Wapanucka, Sasakwa, Mill Creek, Rock Creek, Caddo, which is a very good quality win right now. Fires over, gets the 4-3 ground out. And then against Bennington and Rock Creek, and then dropping the game, as I said yesterday, against Tupelo. Snapping their 12-game losing streak. Durant, on the other hand, they have struggled early in the season again, representing the lone 5A school in the tournament play. The team's flip-flop scores or correction records. Caney coming in 14-5, Durant 5-14 on the season. They had split a home and away game with Coweta, losing 11-0 and then being victorious 8-3, dropping yesterday's game 4-1 against Roth from Class B. Some of the games that we have on tap today will be winners brackets. Those will come later in the evening. And then we will have our final punch-out game, as I alluded to right here. Loser of this game will be eliminated from the tournament, and winner will advance to play Hugo tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the 5th place consolation. And walks them. So the Lions will have a runner on with 2 down. Makes solid contact. However, wind's going to catch it. Flies right out to left field. So it's a 4 up, 3 down inning for Durant. They'll head to the bottom of the first with the Caney Cougars coming up to bat. You're watching Prep Nation TV. So it's an efficient inning for the Cougars. They're able to limit the damage. Only one base runner on due to the walk. And we will head to the bottom of the first. Hopefully we can get back on tap. I know the games last night, they were multiple hours behind. And unfortunately, this is kind of the way it works. There is no way possible, shape or form, absolutely no way that you can play a 7 inning baseball game in 2 hours plus reset the field. Every game that I've ever covered that has tried to do an hour and a half, hour and 45, 2 or 2:15, they're always behind. You have to pretty much allot for 2 and 30 and hope that you have at least a couple of run rule games to offset anything that might go slightly over. However, we will keep you updated and give you a better idea as we. Mullins put in play, leadoff single for Caney, and they have the base runner on. Shows bunt, squares, takes ball. And to the first baseman, can't handle it. E3. Cougars now with base runners on first and second. I'd like to thank our coverage sponsor for today's live stream, video highlights, and plays of the game. Miller Petroleum servicing Atoka, Caney, and Wapanaka, and Boonworks Fencing. Inside corner makes it a 2-0 pitch count. One hopper in the dirt, 3-0. Inside corner, 3-1. Hit by pitch will advance the base runner. And already here in the first, Durant struggling with pitch command and counts. Cougars have loaded the bases on the verge of scoring the first run. Inside corner low, be a 2-0 pitch count. High fly, it's going to shift over to shortstop. He'll be right on the grass, snags it, one down. Over the head evens up the pitch count, 1-1. And the swing and a miss, 1-2. One hopper in the dirt, gets away, base runner on his way, and just, gets him. So a 2-1 tag out. I think he was safe, but that was razor thin, close margin. So umpire goes with the tag out on the extended foot. Durant staves off a potential score. Base runners shift from first, second, and third to second and third only. Two down now. 2-2 pitch count will resume. Didn't have the best jump from third base. However, they were unable to get in and beat the tag, according to the ref. And so Durant looking now to get out of a bind here. Chopper over to third, can go to any base he wants. Fires first, 5-3 on the fielder's choice groundout. And your score through 1-0-0. Well, at the top of the second inning with the Lions coming up to bat, you're watching PNTV coverage of the 21st Annual Sean Hall Memorial Tournament. Lions now up to bat here in the top of the second. Fouls it off. Swinging a miss, takes us 0-2 on the count. Foul ball, dead after hitting the plate. Looper over to second base, squares up, fires, gets him on the 4-3 ground out and one down. Lions with a huge bounce back game earlier today. In case you missed the action, Hugo eliminated Rock Creek 3-1. Durant Big Victors 12-0 over Soper, a third inning run rule final. And then Hugo eliminates the host Tokawampus Cats 18-8 in a marathon game that went almost 3 hours. And it was a run rule through 6. Two games still on tap tonight will be the winner's side bracket semifinal games. It'll feature a who's who of perennial powerhouses in fall and spring baseball playoffs. The 6 o'clock game that will not happen under any circumstance at 6 features Calera from Class 2A versus Tupelo from Class B. And then the original 8 p.m. game that will probably be closer to about a 10 o'clock start, if not later, will feature now Class A Amber Pocassid versus Class B Roth. So a awesome set of winners bracket games coming up later today. Two out now. Fouls it off. It'll be an 0-1 pitch count. And in for the strike. So it's an 0-2 pitch count. Caney once again in full command of pitching, having the opportunity to get back out on the field quickly here. Blooping single to the shortstop, picks it up and fires on the one hopper. Beats out the throw. Infield single for the Lions with 2 outs. Nice hustle. Hits it deep enough and farther enough into the defensive formation that he has to fire quick. Can't get the strongest throw, and as a result, beats it out. And safe for the Lions in back to back innings now with 2 outs with a runner on. Swing and a miss, 0-2 on back to back batters now. So far, the Lions have yet to be able to extend beyond first base. Caney had the bases loaded, went for it at home on the wild pitch, and tagged out at home plate, and then immediately out on the following play to strand two. And safe at second on the stolen base. Nicely done by Durant. It's going to hook foul. Base runner will return back to second. 1-2 pitch count will resume. Two down here with a base runner on for the Lions. And he hits the ball. Rounds first. Durant in with an RBI double. 1-0 lead for the Lions. Check swing. And he goes. Goes foul. Almost pings the first base coach. 1-2 pitch count. Two down here, and a base runner remains on second. Caney had an opportunity to really maybe bust it open in the first and stranded the two, tagged out at home. Durant makes them pay here early on in the second inning. They take the lead on the strength of a beat out infield single, and then RBI double drives him all the way in from first. And with the walk runners on the corners for Durant now. And catches the back end of the foul ball, 0-2 on the pitch count. And high ball one. Fouls it off, stay alive. 1-2 count will resume. Check swing goes foul once again. And another run scores. Durant somewhat showing them how to do it. They steal home. And it is now a 2-0 lead for the Durant Lions. What a huge turn of events for Caney. They came out, only one out, loaded the bases, had an opportunity to steal at home, tagged out. Next play out, Strands two, and Durant has really made them pay here in the top of the second inning. Base runner is going to go to first on the base on ball attempt. It is a 2-3 toss out. We'll head to the bottom of the second inning. Scores now Durant 2, Caney 0. You're watching Prep Nation TV coverage of the 2024 Sean Hall Memorial Tournament at Atoka High School. Cougars will head to the plate. They now trail for the first time in game action. Yesterday, they had an initial lead and then lost it. So the first time in the game of three that they have not been able to score first. Swings and fouls it away. Off speed changeup comes in high, evens up the count 1-1. Just a reminder, if you're jumping in new to the broadcast, if you haven't given us a subscribe on the Prep Nation channel, please do so. Hit us at the home button, click subscribe. It'll prioritize content whenever you're in the app, and more importantly, prioritize videos so that you'll see it and be able to see our videos more frequently. We will be switching to our own content delivery network soon. That will require an annual subscription pass. Unfortunately, we've got about a 78% click rate that non-subscribers watch our content. Some months as many as 38,000 people, and we only have about 2,500 subscribers for free. So we're going to have to switch over and do like everybody else and require at least a annual pass. Each game I ask people to subscribe and it's free, and each game people don't or people unsubscribe just because I ask. I'd like to thank our coverage sponsor for today's live stream, video highlights, and plays of the game, Miller Petroleum and Boomworks Fencing. Ooh, hit by pitch, squares up in the back. Cougars once again have a base runner on here in the bottom of the second. Looked to be a good pitch to me. 1-0 count. Blooping shot out to right field. Mistimes it. Falls. He's going to still have an opportunity to get him, though, at second, and they miscue. Missed that chance. So both base runners safe. I'm going to call that an E9. If it's not an error on the catch, definitely one on the throw. Caney now no outs. Base runners once again first and second in back-to-back innings. Throws down the bunt. Pitcher goes to first. Gets him on the 1-3 fielder's choice throw out. Base runners advance to second and third, one down. In for the strike. Fouls it off. Caney has had 5 base runners on, so far unable to score. Knuckler to second base. going to be a fielder's choice 4-3. Run scores, so they snap that streak. And it is now a 2-1 ball game. Durant still on top. Base runner on third for the Cougars. Wraps it to shortstop. One hopper, and it is a perfect throw, threads the needle. Your score through 2 innings of play: Durant 2, Caney 1. Well, head to the top of the third inning with the Lions coming up to bat. You're watching PNTV. And wraps it out to left field. Beautiful single. Durant is on to something after a tough first day of play yesterday, getting run ruled. They victorious in their game earlier today in a punch out. They'll need to win here again to advance to tomorrow's fifth place consolation game. That game will start at 10 a.m. The winner of this game will meet the Hugo Buffaloes. That'll be your fifth place game. Loser of the two games coming up tonight. And then winners will be your third and championship games between Calera, Tupelo, and then obviously powerhouses in Amber Pocasset and Roth. Fires toward third, or correction, second. Throw is off in the dirt. Base runner safe. So Durant now 2 for 2 on stolen bases at second base, and also successful stealing third and home. So 4 for 4 for the Lions. Definitely a good stat to have in your favor in a tight 2-1 game. Squares and shows bump. Oh, pitcher never covers. Error E1. Lane assignment as the first comes off. Pitcher runs to third or first. He's closer than the second baseman. Coach Garrett Green will head out to the mound. Miscues again plaguing Caney here in the third inning as well. So another error. He had one at the right field spot and then now by the pitcher. And Durant now once again in scoring position. Runners on the corners, first and third. And pitcher pulls back, steals once again, make it 5 for 5 for Durant on stolen bases. Fouls it off. It's going to stay in play. First baseman under it, snags it. Base runners have to remain second and third, one down. Down low in the dirt, ball one. In high, 3-0 pitch count now. So now Caney's struggling with pitch control and the pitch count. In for the strike. Over to the shortstop. A run will score. Sac RBI, 3-1 lead for Durant. 6-3 ground out, fielder's choice, two down. In for another strike. And swing and a miss. And K time. Caney gets a much needed stop, however. Durant scores one, strands one. We'll head to the bottom of the third inning with the Caney Cougars coming up to bat. You're watching Prep Nation TV. Update on the Oklahoma Texas softball game. Sooners get the leadoff walk and then a single for the Queen back in play, Kinsey Hansen. And then Riley Boone knocks in the base runner for a 1-0 lead. Maya Bland being a substitute courtesy runner for Sidney Sanders. 1-0 lead for the Sooners early on, top of the third. Base runners remain first and third on the corners for the Sooners, though, 0 outs. All right, Cougars coming up to bat, bottom of the third inning. It's been a tough day at the office for pitchers and outfielders. Cougars have lost all the momentum from the first inning when they had the bases loaded and then tagged out at home plate. And it has been all Durant since. So teams have kind of a role reversal in inning 2 and 3. It's been Caney committing the errors and Durant making them pay. Goes foul. Like to thank our coverage sponsor for today's live stream, video highlights and plays of the game. Boomworks Fencing and Miller Petroleum in for the single for the Cougars. Base runner on once again, 3 for 3 in innings for Caney. And flies out to center field. Shorthorns have had a overturned call saying that Kenzie Hansen left early. Had nothing to do with her single or the run scoring, but they have taken it off the scoreboard. So 0-0 for the Sooners with one out now. Single out to left field. Base runners first and second for Caney once again. They loaded them in the first, and then 2 runners on second and third back-to-back innings. So, anywho, the score has been corrected again because Riley Boone with the RBI single, Bland scoring. So, don't know what is going on with the coverage on Stat Broadcast, but you guys are doing a terrible job tonight. You've taken the score off twice now.
There we go.
Ball is going to hook on the catcher. Oh, nice. I wished I had flipped the camera over for that one. I really didn't think he was going to be able to get that because of it being so close into the netting, but he snags it. So a beautiful catch for the Lions. Good job. That's a major league catch right there, folks.
There we go. Boy, Max. Go get it. Back. Get him here, Max. Back to reach. Got it.
Infield pop up again. This one just in front of the first baseman. Outstretches and dives, unable to come up with the catch.
There we go.
And K time. All right, your score through three. Durant 3, Caney 1. Lions have had the better hitting and taken advantage of errors and miscues by Caney. Winner moves on to play Hugo tomorrow for the fifth place consolation game. Loser is eliminated from the tournament. We are at least an hour and a half behind schedule, and so our 4, 6, and 8 o'clock games will all be delayed accordingly.
Come on, man, hard.
2-1 pitch count down. Pops it up to the shortstop. Sooners now lead Texas 2-0 in a matchup of top 4 rated teams. Of course, D1 softball and Softball America, the sole exception, NCAA and D1 softball, the idiots who put Texas ahead of Oklahoma after a loss to Louisiana. Fly out to center field, 2 down. Oh, you can beat teams 99 times out of 100, and every time they lose every year or two, they get dropped in the polls. And the bias and just absolute complete ignorance of softball rankings never cease to amaze me. Team can get beat 8 to 10 times a season and stay ranked. Team loses 1 out of 72 game span and immediately falls from the polls. Happened when they had their 41 game streak snapped and their 43 game win streak snapped. It's just blatant. Fires over to third and gets him on the throw out. So it's a 3 up, 3 down inning. So Caney is able to stop Durant. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth inning with the Cougars coming up to bat. You're watching Prep Nation TV coverage.
Get ahead, Reed.
And for the change-up strike, 0-2 pitch count. Fouls it off, stays alive. 1-2 pitch count will resume. Those of you that are tuning in maybe late and were expecting this to be Calera Tupelo, we are about an hour and a half behind schedule. The home team, Atoka Wildcats or Wampus Cats, did almost a 3 hour inning to be run ruled in six instead of it almost being a run rule in three, four, and five. End up losing 18-8 and just put us in an absolute hole. So all of the evening games are going to start late, blooping single out to center field. So I'll do my best to update you before we go off the air so that you know when the next game might potentially start. As a rule of thumb, 25 to 30 minutes after the game goes, you should see the feed up. If there's any kind of a delay, it's because they're taking longer for field drills or getting the field ready. But we will be televising the last two championship games hit by pitch. We'll put the base runners now on first and second once again for Caney. And gets him on the swing and a miss, 0-2.
Wait a minute, now, wait a minute.
Inside for the ball, 1-2 on the count. And swing and a miss, strike. One down.
Get ahead.
Outside and low.
Out, out. Up.
And pops up to the first baseman. Two down. Just off the plate, 1-0 count. Swings above his head, fouls it off, 1-1.
Right here, ready to go all the way back.
Reaches and lunges, fouls it off. Full count now with 2 down. Base runners first and second for Cougars, trying to replicate the magic from the bottom of the third. Strand the base runners in the bottom of the first, tagged out at home, and then unable to catch Durant so far here through half the game.
Right here.
K-Town. Your score through 4. Durant 3, Caney 1. We'll head to the top of the 5th inning with the Lions coming up to bat. You're watching PNTV. In for the strike to top the 5th inning, or to start the 5th inning, rather.
Hey, go Ryder.
And deep shot out to right field, in between left and or right and center, and they snag it. Wow, nice catch. I'll give the base runner credit. He wasn't going to leave until the second up told him he was out. Dangerous play for the center fielder and the right fielder. Neither really calling the other one off, and they were lucky to make that catch. Officially, it's a fly out to the right fielder. Ball goes foul. Gets it to the second baseman. 4-3 ground out, and it is now 2 down. Cougars trying to do back-to-back innings with 3 up, 3 down. Just off the mark for the ball. Evens up the pitch count 1-1. Just gets him on the 6-3 ground out. Nice snag by the first baseman. We'll head to the bottom of the fifth for the Cougars coming up to bat. Score remains 3-1 Durant. You're watching Prep Nation. And the swing and a miss. Outside and in the dirt, ball one. Like to thank our coverage sponsor for today's live streaming and video highlights, Boomworks Fencing and Miller Petroleum. Thank you to Jim and Shannon for their generous support of Prep Nation TV, making feeds like this available free of charge. Show them your thanks by bringing them your business, and please show us your thanks and appreciation for subscribing. Strikeout, one down. To be a pretty decent pitch, 3-1. Fouls it off. We'll go to the full count.
Ladder back, Reed.
And K time. Inside and high, ball one. Off speed changeup is low, ball three. Back to back full counts. Fouls it off, just hooks over the dugout. Pops it up. Count remains the same. Full count. And low in the dirt, ball four. Cougars with the base runner on now for the fifth consecutive inning. Looks back in, gives him the corner. Back to back strikes.
Chase.
One hops in the dirt. Base runner goes to second. Wild, wild throw.
What about the batter?
Update on the Sooners and Longhorns. Top of the fifth. OU continues to lead 2-0. Hanson advances on a fielder's choice, and Boone with a single. Runners on first and second with one out. Katie can't score here in the bottom of the fifth. And we'll head to the top of the sixth inning with the score remaining. Durant 3, Caney 1. You're watching Prep Nation TV coverage of the 21st annual Sean Hall Memorial Tournament. I'd like to thank our coverage sponsor for today's live stream, video highlights, and plays of the game. Boomwork Fencing and Miller Petroleum. Solid rip out to center, flies out, though, one down. The only debate now on the 6 o'clock game is whether or not the 8 o'clock start time will be the 6 o'clock game toss out. We are now over an hour and a half behind schedule, and I use that number. We are already at 6:52 for the 6 o'clock game, 6:53 now, and then it'll be 25 to 30 minutes minimum before they can reset the field. And this game is still in the sixth inning. I just don't see any way, shape, or form that the 6 o'clock game now starts before 7:30 or probably closer to 7:45, 8 o'clock. However, we will update you accordingly. Update on the OU Texas game. Jada Coleman with a 3 RBI home run, knocks in Kylie Hansen, Kinsey Hansen, Riley Boone. 5-0 lead for the Sooners, top of the fifth still. Swing and a miss. And strikeout. Fouls it off. Infield pop up. Second baseman shifts, snags it, and it is back to the bottom of the sixth. Cougars need some runs. They're down to their final 6 outs. Update on the Sooners score against Texas 5-0. However, Sooners Brito advances with a error. Jennings singles to center field. Sooners now with runners on the corners, 1 out, top of the fifth. Score remains 5-0. Ella Parker coming up to bat. And flies out to center field. Correction, left field. Pitching change for the Longhorns. Check in for Morgan. And swinging a miss evens up the count 1-1. Rips it out to left, pitches it on the slide. Nicely done by the Lions. Just tell this game means something to Durant. They are really, really wanting to play for that fifth place game tomorrow at 10. Just out hustling Caney right now. And even though they haven't really done much since the top of the third offensively, we had a busy top bottom portion, obviously, top third and bottom third, each team scoring since then been scoreless. But Caney doing enough to stay in the game, Durant doing enough to definitely keep the lead, looking to really shut down this vaunted offense. It's kind of been helter skelter, little Jekyll and Hyde this year for Caney. However, still time to correct it before A and B districts start next weekend. Inside, low in the dirt. In for the strike, evens up the pitch count 1-1. Parker fouls out, two down. Runners remain on first and third for the Sooners. Alicia Torres coming up to bat. OU 5-0 over Texas, top of the fifth. Inside corner, too much, 2-0. And evens up the count, 2-2. Torres flies out, so the Sooners will head to the bottom of the fifth. Kelly Maxwell still pitching a no-hitter against Texas. 5-0. Longhorns coming up to bat. And out to center field. Fly out. Nothing to do it for Caney. We'll head to the top of the seventh inning. Durant leads 3-1 over Caney. You're watching Prep Nation TV coverage of the 21st Annual Sean Hall Memorial Tournament. Pops it up, hooks over to the first baseman, and he has got it. One down, 1-1 pitch count. Ball gets away from him 2-1. Over to the shortstop. One hop, bobbles, fires late, just misses him. So enough of a problem on the ball. Borderline E6 there. And Durant once again with a base runner on. And hit by pitch advances the base runners now first and second. Over to this. Oh, ricochets, hot shot. That one's going to score a run. Insurance tacked on for Durant. 4-1. Make it 5-1. Ball gets away. Multiple errors on the play. The hot shot originally for the second baseman does not count. However, throwing error for right field, way off the mark. Third baseman, again, doesn't get it caught and relayed over and tagged. Just a rough looking play there for Caney. Durant trying to get it to where they have got a margin for comfort in the bottom of the seventh. As is, if this holds up, it'll be Durant versus Hugo tomorrow. And I think that would be a surprise to many for the fifth place game. Pitcher steps off the mound. 0-1 on the pitch count will resume. Fires back into second base. He is safe. Fouls it off. and gets him on the ground out, 2 down. Inside corner. Evens up the pitch count, 2-2. And K-time. Well, at the bottom of the seventh inning, Cougars will need a huge rally for to tie, force extra innings. Otherwise, Durant will move on tomorrow to the fifth place game to meet the Hugo Buffaloes. You're watching Prep Nation TV coverage of the Wood Bat Tournament here at Atoka High School. One final shout out for our sponsors, Boomworks Fencing and Miller Petroleum. Show them your appreciation for making this feed free and you to be able to watch by bringing them your business. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. Go to the homepage, click subscribe. It's free. It'll prioritize content whenever you're inside the app. You'll be more likely to see our content. And most importantly, you will continue to make it where we can get sponsors who see the viewership numbers to justify advertising and spending their money so that you don't have to pay for the feed. And the fly out, 1 down. And in for the double. Here come the Cougars. And rips it to the shortstop. Can't get to it. So correction on the double prior. I misspoke. Cougars hit into a flyout. They do have the runner here now at first. And in for the strike.
All the way back, Reed.